Thank you, Brian, Andrew, Glenn, Barney, and Lindy. How are we feeling? Are we good? We're almost there, and these next couple of sessions, I'm telling you, just watch out. They're good. But look, I'm going to be straight up with you because I was nervous about today. We've done all that. I've said that. But not even 1,000 butterflies in my tummy could take away from the privilege of introducing the Florence Mary Taylor Medal. Although the Dialogue's chairman, Christopher Brown, didn't explicitly say it, it was pretty clear to me why he asked me to introduce the medal. There are some obvious similarities between me and Florence Taylor. Let me just explain it for 1 second. Florence Taylor was Australia's first qualified female architect, engineer, and pilot. She was a town planning advocate, a writer, editor, publisher, and successful businesswoman, and she was educated in today's host city, our very own Parramatta. Florence's ideas on the responsibilities of women were fixed, and she was quoted as saying, "For a woman to marry, get into the confines of the home, and never be articulate in public affairs is a disgrace." Florence was described as a pioneer and a conservative, an egotist and a confidant, a workaholic and a style setter, a ratbag, a philanthropist, a tyrant and a heroine. Look, obviously I'm not Florence, but I am a ratbag. I have an architecture degree. I identify as a female. I was born in Westmead. Right now I'm articulating public affairs-ish. And if that wasn't enough, Florence and I share a birthday plus or minus 103 years and 8 days. So samesies. But look, obviously I'm joking because there is one gigantic difference. Parramatta's Florence Mary Taylor did all that stuff first. She was the first qualified female architect, engineer, and pilot. And arguably, because of Florence, the gender split was equal when I studied architecture. Maybe Nancy Bird Walton was able to be the youngest Australian woman to gain a pilot's licence because Florence made it a little bit easier. So it's fitting that the Florence Mary Taylor Medal be struck in the honour of this year's recipient, Robyn Denholm. For at its essence, the medal recognises excellence in innovation by those from or in Western Sydney. From origins in Milperra, Robyn Denholm has held roles at Arthur Andersen, Toyota, Sun Microsystems, Juniper and Telstra, and is currently Chair of Technology Council Australia. Her countless achievements are topped off by her appointment as Tesla Chair, one of the most innovative companies on earth. This brings great credit to Robyn and the region that helped to shape her. Christopher Brown caught up with Robyn via video link this past week to present her with the Florence Mary Taylor Award, and it is truly my honour to introduce you to that recording right now.
We're delighted today, if not in person, at least by the use of great technology, to speak to Robyn Denholm. And Robyn, can I first, before we have a chat, take the formal process? As the audience has just heard the background to Florence Mary Taylor Medal, but to present you, with the benefit of technology, the inaugural Florence Mary Taylor Medal, recognising a career contribution to technology and innovation, particularly people with their particular Western Sydney origins. They're an inspiration to us all. Congratulations.
Well, thank you, Christopher, and thank you for the honour of being awarded the inaugural Florence Mary Taylor Medal by the Western Sydney Leadership Dialogue. To be recognised in the name of Florence Mary Taylor, who was the first registered female architect and engineer, and also a pilot who was educated and worked in Parramatta, is indeed a really great honour for me.
No, we're talking today, the whole conference has been about how to train, attract, retain great talent in Western Sydney to go into the knowledge jobs of the future, to fill not only the factories we've been called upon, but to fill the offices and the universities and the global boardrooms, as you've done at Tesla, right up to your level. What is it about this area that you think that sets it apart, and we can maybe meet that ambition?
I think the area, with its roots in having a great multicultural population, is really at the heart of innovation. So the way I think about innovation is that it's doing something different, some way that what hasn't been done before. To me, that's, if you're not innovating or if you're not trying something different, you're actually not innovating. And so for me, having this broad, diverse population actually has the essence of innovation at its heart, because without that diversity, you're doing things the same way that you were doing them before. And so that's why I have, I'm not surprised that Western Sydney has become a technology powerhouse, because whether it's in the vertical of pure tech companies, producing tech companies like Air Trunk that are out in Western Sydney, or it's applying technology to many industries, whether it's manufacturing to become advanced manufacturers, or logistics and supply companies like Iconic that are in Western Sydney as well. Those types of people that really innovate, to me, are the lifeblood of Western Sydney.
So from your experience, both in places like Telstra and Toyota in Australia, right through to your now roles board chair of Tesla, what lessons do we need to think about to try and nurture that market? What regulatory or cultural issues? Everyone in the world wants to be a tech hub. They won't all get there. What do you think we need to focus on so we can curate this market to a much more productive technological end?
Well, to me, the first thing is that we've got to be unafraid to take risks. My view is that failure is an incredible ingredient for success. You actually have to fail before you can succeed in many of the technologies that need to be developed. And so,
as Bobby Kennedy says over my shoulder, only those who dare to fail greatly can ever achieve greatly. It's so we need to be brave and ambitious.
Yeah, and we can't be afraid to fail, because to me, without that failure, you don't get the success, particularly from a technology perspective. And so I think making sure that that's the case, and then embracing the difference and the diversity that we have, particularly in Western Sydney, but across this great nation, to actually apply different voices to the problems that are in front of us, and actually use those for good, and for companies trying to innovate or individuals trying to innovate, to really sort of bring those things to bear. So to me, it's that risk appetite, increasing that and holding on to that. And also embracing the diversity that we have in Australia across many disciplines, but primarily in the technology sector.
So in closing, as you know, Florence Mary Taylor fought hard for everything she got. Humble start in Parramatta, came through despite all the opposition, finally listed as the first architect, the first engineer, and the first woman to fly in Australia. Quite remarkable. I mean, she was a seriously tough chick to get through stuff was against her. Is there still barriers for young women in technology, and particularly our part of the world? Is there anything specific advice you can give for some of our young audience watching today who would one day aspire to be the chair of Tesla?
Well, as I said earlier, from my perspective, accepting this award, I want to show all the young up-and-coming generation that you can succeed. You can come from Western Sydney, you can have relatively humble beginnings and actually succeed on a global scale for those things that you're truly passionate about. Yeah. Doesn't matter where you come from. And I think that is testament to the technology industry. It's a very egalitarian industry. Women do particularly well in the technology space. As I mentioned before, we need 260,000 new roles will be created over the next few years in Australia, and women should play a big part in that. Particularly mid-career women. I didn't join the technology sector until I was 33. So from my perspective, actually taking learnings from other sectors and applying them into the technology sector as a mid-career woman is phenomenal. And so I think, anything worth having is worth fighting for. And so continuing to push into industries where the diversity of thought is actually at the crux of how innovations are made is really important, and gender diversity is one of the aspects that I think we need to keep pushing for within the technology industry.
There might even be hope for a Luddite from Dundas like me, so inspire me to get in more tech. To Robyn Denholm, the inaugural winner of the 2002 Florence Mary Taylor Medal, recognising your career achievement in technology and innovation. And I think everybody watching today would realise why you were exactly the ideal winner of the inaugural prize. We look forward to seeing you down under and deep in the heart of Western Sydney, maybe at the time ahead, and we can hand this over formally. In the meantime, thanks very much for your time. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you.